Hey y'all, Chris from American Warrior Forge here. So today I got a video for you about preform. So I heard that term a lot when I first got started and I didn't quite understand exactly what it meant. Based on context clues, I kind of assumed it was just, the form halfway through forging it, more or less. And that's just not quite the case. So we're going to talk about preform today and how that relates to forging a blade specifically, but it also applies to other items just in general in blacksmithing. So let's get into it. All right, so what do I mean by preform? So when you're forging something, right? So this is my plasticine modeling clay here. We're gonna use this throughout the video to demonstrate. When you're forging something, especially a knife, for example, I've got my point here, and this mass of thickness here I'm gonna use to pull out and forge out my bevels, right? So I'm gonna pull that material down and forge that out. Now when you're forging, basic physics here, every action has an equal but opposite reaction, right? So as I pull this material this way, the spine is going to want to go this way. So if you've forged a knife and it's bananaed on you, right, you're going to figure out that preform is how you keep that from happening. If you don't preform your blade to prevent the banana effect, it can bend and get worse and worse, and you might get to the point where you can't fix it because the blade is going to continue to get thinner and thinner towards the edge as you draw out that bevel and as you draw out your blade, and that's going to make it harder and harder to correct that banana effect. So to do the preform, I'm going to show you this on the anvil here in a moment, but to do the preform, you're essentially going to bend the blade the wrong direction to begin with, and then you are going to forge out your bevel, and as you do that, it will correct itself in shape. So let's go over to the anvil and I'm going to show you how this works. All right, so there is the preform of my blade before I bend it. This is actually going to be my spine, this is going to be my cutting edge. They're reversed because if I do it this way, and even with bending it, and I pull out this cutting edge, this tip is still going to accentuate up quite a bit. But by forging it this way, I can actually help prevent that banana. So first step is going to be to bend the blade the opposite direction that I want it to go. So there we have that. So now that I've got that bent the wrong way, I'm going to go ahead and start forging in my bevels. I do that at the horn. I'm going to pull out my heel first on one side, and I'm going to flip it over, continue pulling it out, that way it's more or less centered. And now I'm going to do that down the length of the cutting edge, pulling out my material as I work my way down towards the tip. By doing that, I've got my bevel to my cutting edge. Obviously it would need to be straightened. Thicker spine. Distal taper from the center to the tip. And on top of that, I do not have a banana. The cutting edge and the spine are the shape that I was desiring them to be. All because of the preform, where I had that what looked like kind of the start of a drop point reversed, and then bending that blade the opposite direction of the way I'm going to be pulling the material. All right, guys, so that's it. That's preform. Again, preform is going to allow you to forge out your bevels without ending up with a banana for a knife, and without getting a banana that you can't fix because it is now so thin that as you hammer on this cutting edge, it just keeps folding over rather than straightening the spine. Preform, very simple. You're going to bend that tip over accentuatedly down in the opposite direction, bend the middle of the blade down the wrong way, and then forge out your bevels. When you're forging out your bevels, keep an eye on it straightening. If it starts to straighten too much and it looks like it's going to start to banana, pull it off, put its spine down on the face of your anvil, tap that cutting edge to realign the spine, and then you can pre-form that tip a little bit more before you continue forging your bevel down. Everything else is going to stay the same on your normal forging operations. You're still going to planish and straighten and all that stuff afterwards. But this is simply going to allow you to forge out your bevels rather than doing complete stock removal on your bevel. It's going to allow you greater versatility in the way you use your materials to forge a knife. And it's going to test and challenge your skills, but then once you get it, it's going to make you more efficient, more effective, and I guarantee you'll enjoy it. So thanks, guys. Hit me up if you have any questions. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Happy hammering.